NFL Daily is presented by Manscaped. If you're looking for the latest NFL news around free agency today, you are in the right place. If you're looking for the best male grooming products on the market, you're also in the right place. Go to manscaped.com/chat. 20% off and free shipping if you're looking to make sure that you don't become a free agent. Guess what? Manscaped, they're here to help you. All right, let's go to the biggest signing that happened today. Shaq Barrett. My credit is out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for figuring out a way to not only bring back Shaq Barrett, but also keep Lavonte David as well. I mean, that is phenomenal. And to tag Chris Godwin. So he signed a 4-year deal worth up to $72 million. The deal includes $36 million fully guaranteed, and obviously for the Super Bowl champs, the ability to be able to keep Barrett, who I actually thought was going to get a little bit more, and as soon as I saw that they signed Lavonte David for 2 years, $25 million, I was like, he's a goner. He's not going to come back. That's what Tom Brady does. They want to go out and try to win another one, and I don't blame him. Now, he's not had, I guess I should say, he didn't have as good of a year as he had in 2019, only 8 sacks, but he was great in the playoffs, great in the Super Bowl. So what I want you guys to do is this. Anytime any of these signings happen, I'm not going to ask you every single time, but for reference, I am going to ask you this time. I want you to grade the Shaq Barrett signing, A, B, C, D, or F. Go down in the comment section and let me know. And then for every other player, every other deal that you see on the show, I want you, as soon as I say the player and I say the name, to go spam in the chat what your grades are for those, because if I asked you every single time for every single player, dude, I wouldn't get out of work today until like 9 p.m. Eastern time. So A, B, C, D, or F, grade the Shaq Barrett signing. Let's go to Jonnu Smith now, who is now the member of the New England Patriots. They get a tight end. I mean, we've never seen a good tight end play from the Patriots, right? Seriously, go ahead, grade the signing. He leaves the Titans for a 4-year, $50 million deal. Smith will get $31.25 million full and guaranteed. Maybe he can also get a neck. I mean, does this man have a neck? Look at the traps on this guy. The Patriots spent 2 third-rounders on tight ends in the 2020 NFL draft. Neither of them worked. They brought back Cam Newton. He needs somebody to throw to him. I mean, you want to talk about one of the most pathetic offenses in football last year. It was the New England Patriots, at least in terms of throwing the ball. I think Jonnu Smith is one of the most underrated tight ends in the entire league, but he wasn't my number 1 free agent tight end. In fact, it was Hunter Henry, so I'm really curious how a 4-year, $50 million deal, how that's going to impact somebody like Hunter Henry, who I think most of us would say is one of the better tight ends in football. Maybe is better than Jonnu Smith, but still has never really been able to play a fully healthy 16-game season. So who's the better tight end? What do y'all think here? If it's Jonnu Smith, I want you to type JS. If you're like, you know what, Mitch? Big Hunter Henry fan. I want you to type HH down in the comments. Let's go to Romeo Okwara here, and I actually love this deal. I guess you call me a Juliet, if you will, for the Detroit Lions. If that's a bad joke, hey, you can yell at me at Mitchell Renz 365. But he's back in Detroit, 3 years, $39 million contract, coming off a breakout season. He's not all that great in terms of stopping the run, but if you need somebody that can get after the quarterback, I thought Romeo did a phenomenal job this past year, and in fact, one of the best edge rushers according to Pro Football Focus. So the fact that they were able to bring him back, 3 years, $39 million, only 25 years old, and I mean, you're bringing up 10 sacks, 14 tackles for a loss for a player who's still trying to fill out into his body a little bit. I thought this was one of the better signings that I've seen come across so far, and I think the Detroit Lions did a very good job retaining the young Romeo. Now, I want you guys to make sure you don't miss a thing, so go ahead, subscribe to Chat Sports for nonstop free agency updates. Turn on those notifications, because if there's breaking news that happens, we're going to keep you updated. We're live right now. Maybe you're coming across this 2 hours from now and you see this video. If you turn on your notifications, you wouldn't miss anything. So go to youtube.com/chatsportstv, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, because I don't want you guys to miss anything. Let's go to this one here. We got Pat Elflein, who is now a member of the Carolina Panthers, spent last season with the Minnesota Vikings and agreed to a 3-year, $13.5 million deal with $6 million guaranteed. Elflein had been cut midseason by Minnesota, finished the year with the New York Jets. This is a type of player that he can play on a whole bunch of different roles. He's played tackle, he's played center, he's also actually slotted in some guard as well. A former third-round pick in 2017. But if you're Carolina, you're trying to build up that offensive line. You're trying to continue to get better. That way you can protect, whether it's Teddy Bridgewater or if your plan is to go out and draft a quarterback number 8 overall, hey, you want to be able to protect him. And I do think Pat, when healthy, is a good option. Let's go stick here with the Carolina Panthers. Even more help, or I'm going to say air quotes, help. Cameron Erving agreed to a 2-year, $10 million deal with $8 million guaranteed. I'll say this. I saw this one, and I couldn't believe it. I thought this was a big-time overpay for Cameron Erving. Like, he's an okay player, but there was no way I'm giving him 2 years, $10 million. Leaves the Cowboys after just 1 season. Played in 5 games, allowed 1 sack, 28 years old. For Carolina, you're just continuing to try to build up that offensive line as much as you possibly can. So ultimately, I was a little bit surprised by that deal. All right, let's go to this one now. Marcus Golden. He is going to go with, well, he's going to stick here in Arizona on a 2-year, $9 million deal. The Cardinals, they traded for Golden mid-season, so I don't know if you guys remember that because guess what? He would have been somebody that we talked about during our NFL trade deadline show. The question is, and I'm glad that our team put this up on screen, does this mean Hassan Reddick is leaving? So Reddick is also coming off a year where he had 12.5 sacks. I do believe that Reddick is going to get a much bigger contract, as he 100% deserves, the former first-round pick. But the fact that the Cardinals decided to go with Golden here, who had 33 tackles last season, 4.5 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Also, I hope you guys are remembering every single deal that you see come across here. I want you to go down in the comments, give me an A, B, C, D, or an F. So far here, who's the biggest free agent winner so far? If you want to give me a player name, you can 100% do that. I'm okay with that. Or you can go ahead and give me the biggest winner so far in terms of a team. I guess it's probably New England if we're talking about day one because they've been the only team making all these moves. And I'm starting to wonder how you have all these deals done, considering the fact that, well, you shouldn't be tampering. But, you know, that New England's definitely a team. I'm also going to say Jonnu Smith. Getting 4 years, $50 million. He's also definitely a big-time winner. Speaking of New England, we're sticking here. We're going to go David Godchaux, who spent last season with the Miami Dolphins. He is now a member of the New England Patriots. So a 2-year deal worth up to $16 million. He gets $9 million fully guaranteed. Definitely fits the run stopper that New England's looking for. But go back a few years ago where the Patriots, they were one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in 2019. They had 6 players opt out, and they just continue to build and build and build, especially that defense. So once again, New England's looking like they're going to have a really, really tough defense to be able to go through. Will the AFC East go through New England again? It remains to be seen. Speaking of D, get the perfect package, 20% off and free shipping on the best male grooming products out there. If you're a guy and you're like, wait a minute, why isn't my package perfect? It's probably because you haven't gotten started with Manscaped yet. We're saving you 20% off and free shipping on products like the Lawnmower 3.0. It fits great in your hand. There's going to be no tugging whatsoever when you're shaving your hair. I will admit, though, they need to put this on the box. There will be some tugging afterwards. So manscaped.com/chat. I absolutely love these products here, and I promise y'all, you will too. In fact, these products work so good. Tom, before he started using them, he wasn't married. Now he's married. Producer Brett, he had to get a vasectomy because these things work so well. He's got 3 girls. No anymore. Not anymore. I'm telling you, these products change people's lives. Manscaped.com/chat. 20% off and free shipping. And Harrison Graham as well. Not married. Start using Manscaped. Married. Me, no girlfriend. Manscaped. Girlfriend, I'm telling you, this stuff is the best you could ever get, I promise you. The ball toner, it's like cologne for your downstairs. The ball deodorant, if you're sweating underneath here, you're telling me you don't sweat down there either? Come on, man, I know you do. One more time here, if you want your package to look absolutely perfect, go ahead and get started right now. 20% off and free shipping. I see some people typing LOL. Yo, you're going to be laughing at yourself because you're not taking advantage of this deal. One more time, perfect package, 20% off at Manscaped, manscaped.com/chat. All right, we're going to head on over now to Andre Roberts, who is now a member of the Houston Texans. He agreed to a 2-year deal worth up to $5.95 million. Plenty of return and special teams ability, no doubt about that. But I don't think that he can be a Will Fuller replacement, and it's nothing against Roberts. It's just, let's be honest with ourselves here. I don't want Houston to do kind of what they did with Hopkins, where they traded away DeAndre Hopkins, they signed Randall Cobb. That's not how the NFL works. You can't get rid of Will Fuller or decide to move on from Will Fuller and then sign Andre Roberts and hope that it works out. That's just not how the NFL ultimately works here. So Andre Roberts, he's headed to the Houston Texans. And so far, man, that's a pretty big one. All right, speaking of this one just came through here. Joe Thuney just signed a mega deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. 5 years, $80 million. He is now the highest paid guard in the National Football League. This is excluding Brandon Scherf's franchise tag, and this is actually the second year that Scherf was tagged, which is why it is a little bit higher. But, I mean, you want to talk about a huge addition for the Chiefs' offensive line. I mean, this is it. I mean, you're looking at a team that they got rid of their starting left and right tackle. Their center's a free agent, and they've had a lot of issues at guard as well. So one of the biggest reasons why they lost, not even one of the biggest reasons, the biggest reason why they lost the Super Bowl is because Patrick Mahomes, he was trying to throw the ball on his back. He was trying to sling it everywhere, and he couldn't get it out because Tampa Bay was coming down his throat. So now you add Joe Thuney at 28 years old. He's never missed a game in his 5-year career. One of the hardest working guards, 6'5", 308 pounds. Definitely built more to be a pass-blocking guard than more of a run-blocking guard. But overall, if you're Kansas City, if you're happy about this deal, I want you to go down in the comments right now. Grade the Joe Thuney signing, 5 years, $80 million, A, B, C, D, or F. Let's now go back to the New England Patriots, who have been probably one of the most active teams, if not the most active team so far. They agreed to a 4-year, $56 million deal with $32 million guaranteed. Matt Judon, outside linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens last year, and now he was franchise tagged in 2019. Baltimore decided to not bring him back here, and now New England, they swoop in, they get a solid linebacker that's going to be able to fit really well with what they're trying to do. He's more of a pass rusher, than he's more of a coverage player, but Judon in 2019, that dude absolutely balled out. Did take a little bit of a step back in 2020, so I'm curious to see what the 28-year-old can do coming off a season where he had 50 tackles, 6 sacks, and 10 tackles for a loss. So I hate to ask the question, but there is always at least one. Who's the biggest free agent loser so far? Go down in the comments section and let me know. If you want to give me a player, always encourage that. If you want to go ahead and give me a team that you think is the biggest loser so far, please go ahead and do so. So let me know who's the biggest free agent loser so far. More Patriots. I guess we're just going to change this instead of NFL Daily. This is the Patriots News and Rumors Show. They're also bringing in Jalen Mills, who agreed to a 4-year, $24 million deal with $9 million guaranteed. That's jaw-dropping to me. Probably even more surprising than this dude's hair was the deal that the Patriots gave him. I don't know if this means that they're going to be moving on from Stephon Gilmore. I've seen some people already ask that on Twitter. 26 years old, 74 tackles, a pick, 3 pass breakups. I mean, I think you're just really looking for New England to go out and get as much defensive help as they possibly can. So this one was definitely a little bit of a head-scratcher. How about this move here? The Jacksonville Jaguars. I like it. Urban Meyer getting active. I was surprised by the number. Roy Robertson-Harris, who played last season with the Chicago Bears in a more of a I'm trying to think of it, not versatile role, but a role where he'd only play like 30, designated role. Thank you, Producer Sam. So he agreed to a 3-year, $24.4 million deal with $14 million guaranteed. I'll tell you what, this is Urban Meyer's first big move in free agency. It was a little bit peculiar, in my opinion. He is definitely an underrated player where I think if he does get a little bit more playing time, he's really going to be able to flourish. Super athletic, 6'5", 292 pounds. Will he be able to really get out there and show some of his talent down there in Jacksonville? All right, we got a linebacker. Okay, Davis, Gerard Davis. He's headed to the New York Jets. Spent last year with the Detroit Lions, so he did not live up to expectations. There's just no doubt about that. He agreed to a 1-year, $7 million deal with the New York Jets, a former first-round pick out of Florida. I guarantee you when I get done with today's show, my dad, he's going to send me a text. He's going to go, Mitch, who the heck is Gerard Davis? Well, Dad, he is a new member now of your linebacking core. Last season, C.J. Mosley, who the New York Jets spent heavily on in 2019 free agency, or 2020 free agency, excuse me, He decided to opt out. Now, hopefully you have C.J. Mosley, you have Gerard Davis, and 46 tackles. You're going to hope for a lot more out of that, out of the 26-year-old. All right, we got some news here coming in from John Johnson. He is now the newest member of the Cleveland Browns. They got him on a 3-year deal, which, I'll tell you what, surprises me a little bit. I mean, they already have Grant Delpit. The issue was Grant Delpit missed last season with an injury, and they have Ronnie Harrison. But a 3-year, $33.75 million with $24 million guaranteed. John Johnson, I actually think, is one of the best safeties still on the market, considering the fact that Justin Simmons was franchise tagged. Marcus May was franchise tagged. Also, there's another name that was franchise tagged that has escaped. Marcus Williams, he was also franchise tagged. So I really thought it was between John Johnson and Anthony Harris as being the top two safeties left on the market here. So coming off a year, we had 105 tackles, 1 interception, 8 pass breakups. 2019 didn't have that good of a year, was battling a few injuries here and there, but in 2018 also was very, very good. Shout out to Cleveland for being aggressive. This has been a sports franchise, a sports city that has really, really struggled, maybe minus LeBron James. But they are in this window right now where they're competing. And I give them credit. I think the Browns, coming off a year that they had, they realized that they need to continue to build that defense. And if you think John Johnson, who's going to be that center fielder, if you will, who can really help that background, oh, man, the Browns, I don't know if they're going to be able to overtake the Ravens. I don't know if they're going to be able to overtake the Steelers. But when you continue to make moves like this, it's definitely interesting. One more time here, John Johnson, 3 years, $33.75 million. Go down in the comments section right now, grade the signing, A, B, C, D, or F.